Patrick,
Yes, Raph.
we're doing a series on bubble era cars.
Yes.
We're supposed to be showing people JDM cars we never got in America. And we have an RX-7 and a Supra, both of which Americans got to buy new.
That's right, Raph. But
Yeah.
the thing is, when you're talking about the bubble era of Japanese cars, these are two of the most prominent poster children of cars from that era.
Yeah.
We have to talk about what they were and what they represented to the larger car scene back then and how
Yeah.
they epitomized the bubble era as a whole. Also, we had the chance to drive a really pristine RX-7 and a Mark IV Supra. I think you should just shut up, stop asking questions, and just go with it, okay?
These are the driving cars of dream excitement. I guess we should probably drive them.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
80年代後半から90年代初頭というバブル時代の真っ只中、日本は世界屈指のスポーツカー、高級車、小型車、その他ニッチな自動車を生産していました。しかし1991年のバブル崩壊後、こういった車は二度と作られなくなりました。米国政府による規制のため25年という長い間、この車たちはアメリカで脚光を浴びる機会はありませんでした。しかし今、私たちはようやくこういった車がどんなものだったのか、一体誰のために作られたのかを紐解くことができます。それでは一緒にバブルカーの夢を見ましょうか。
Let's talk about how we got here.
Yeah, both of these cars are sort of mid-90s vehicles, and if you had traced back into the 1970s, these would be really hard to understand. So the original RX-7 was basically just using a bunch of parts from Mazda's very basic hatchback to make as cheap and as simple a tiny lightweight sports car as you could, something to fight like a Datsun. But sort of over the years, as sort of Datsuns got bigger, Mazda started getting a little bit more ambitious, a little bit more powerful, until ultimately you got this, the last one, the FD-RX-7, and it's just twin turbo, madness, so over the top.
Now, what's interesting is the Supra had a very similar evolution.
That's true.
It starts out as kind of a nicer version of the Celica, like a 6-cylinder, better interior Celica XX or Celica Supra.
Yeah.
Then it kind of blossoms into this really big, heavy cruiser in the 80s, almost like a Japanese 6 Series.
Yeah.
And then when all the Japanese car companies went completely insane in the late 80s, early 90s, it becomes this twin turbocharged beast of a car that had some really, really thundering performance for its time.
Yeah.
And that was before the tuners ever got their hands on it. And
true.
that's probably where the Supra story really begins. It's like, the Fast and the Furious era or the underground tuning scene, that movie fictionalized. That's what lives in the popular imagination today is like the orange, overnight parts of Japan, outrun a Ferrari Supra.
Yeah.
But as cool as these cars are
Yeah.
in the popular imagination, I'm not really sure how they're gonna hold up when we drive them today.
Yeah, I mean, these were the top performers of the 1990s, but the 1990s were a long time ago. There's been a lot that's happened in terms of modernizing everyday performance.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're actually going to hold up.
Yeah, both of these cars put out around 300-ish horsepower, give or take, at the time. And that's kind of family sedan power today.
This one is not even. This is significantly less powerful than a new Camry.
Yeah, so are they going to be any good, or is the legend going to be no match for reality? I say we find out.
Yeah, let's drive this RX-7 and we'll figure it out.
Let's go start there.
Yeah. If it starts.
If it starts.
It'll start.
It was burning oil earlier, but they all do that.
It's a feature.
Feature, not a bug.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing about this car is there had been Japanese sports cars which approached the level of design that European or American cars could. This was the first time that you had a car which was significantly better than what Europe or America was producing. This is the prettiest car that was being produced at this time.
Of all the Japanese 1990s sports cars of that class that everyone loves today, I think this is the best looking one by far.
Yeah.
Classic sports car proportions, no ugly headlights up front to obscure the design. It's great in bright colors like this yellow.
Don't forget that 2 years before this came out, 2 or 3 years, Mazda was selling boxes on wheels.
Yeah.
It's one thing for us to see this as a pretty car now. It's another thing to see this as a pretty car coming out in 1991, 1992.
Cabin, pretty standard from this era.
What are you talking about?
That's a lot of.
Have you been in a modern car?
It's a lot of. It's just hard plastic everywhere. That's it. Like analog gauges. We realized that all those digital gauges we had in the 80s were ugly and stupid and expensive, and everyone hated them. So we're gonna go hard 180 the other direction, and that's why you have these.
Okay, yeah, this thing is tiny, I would just like to point out. We are in a bubble.
Yeah, okay, no, size-wise, it's very small.
We're in a tiny booth.
Size-wise, it's very small.
Yeah. That is my the moment you step into this thing, you step down into these actually really nice bucket seats. The other thing is that, so this thing, it was 252 horsepower new and like 217 pound-feet of torque, and it actually, though it is significantly less horsepower than the V6 Camry now, it kind of rips.
Wow.
And it keeps going. Like, it's just a lot of...
That's impressive.
It revs really well and really easy. That was $7,000.
And it's really smooth too, which is what the rotaries are famous for.
The way that rotaries work is you've got two spinning Doritos.
Yes.
And then magic happens, and then, your car.
Yes, yes. You literally see the face of God in the form of two spinning triangles.
I will say this car does strike a great bit of fear into me because one, it's small, but also I'm really afraid that if I misshift, some sort of rotary magic will be destroyed and we will be vaporized. It needs to be smaller.
Oh yeah, this is great. Okay, yeah.
Right? Right? It's so good.
It's really smooth.
And the pull!
This is quicker. This is quicker than I expected it to be.
Again, rated it sold under 252 horsepower and 217 pound-feet of torque. This is what not weighing anything does to you.
Dude, this car could be a runner today. The brakes are excellent. The steering feels great because, praise the Lord, it has hydraulic steering and not this electric crap we have to deal with today.
Yeah.
Really precise turn-in. It's a small body. Like, wow.
Right?
This is awesome.
This is like shockingly good. Like instantly you feel that like the suspension is tied down.
It also
is not screwing about.
It definitely feels like it was made by the people who also make the Miata.
Yeah.
Like it's got kind of the similar, like the family DNA to it. I mean, that sounds dumb to say, but if you've driven one, imagine one that's like bigger and more powerful and with a smoother, faster engine, and you're pretty close to what this is, and that's a good thing. All right, we've driven the RX-7 now. We're both deeply kind of in love with it, but now it's time to see Toyota's take on extreme competitive 1990s performance, but done in a very different way. All right, I think before we hop in the Supra, we take a look at these engines.
Okay,
because they're very different.
First, let's see the RX-7 because there's something I actually really want to see. I've never really poked into one of these things before.
Oh, yeah?
This was a challenge. After this thing, they really didn't quite make a turbo rotary like this anymore. So this is a 13B. This is twin turbo. This was the first sort of series production twin turbo engine or sequential twin turbo.
For piston or rotary.
Piston or rotary.
Amazing.
It was the Unos Cosmo which debuted this engine, but this is like only a year or two later.
And it's really tight in the engine bay for being such a compact motor. 1.3 liters.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's only two rotors, and together the displacement is like 1.3. The thing that I always want to see is all of like the vacuum lines and
so many.
All of the like emissions compliant, make sure this thing still works in the 90s. Like in the 1960s when this was like, when people first started putting rotaries and stuff, this was the last thing on anyone's mind.
They really took this technology about as far as it could go. And I think that's part of why the RX-8 accepted, you just don't see these anymore, you know?
Well, so the RX-8 is interesting because modern rotary tuners actually prefer using these older engines. And so this goes back to a term which the industry uses, which is called FAT. So this is what you would call a FAT production car.
Yeah.
It was overbuilt. There was like, the bolts were longer than they needed to be. Everything was a little bit over-designed. This engine handles better being rebuilt than engines built later, which are a little bit more throwaway.
Yeah, this really speaks to that era of bubble Japanese over-engineering.
Absolutely. And speaking of, we should check out let's check out the Supra. Pop the hood, bro. I know. I did. No, oh, no. Ah.
Okay, fine, fine.
Pop the hood, bro! 2JZ, no shit.
2JZ.
All right, I'm sorry.
You're looking at a legend
sorry,
here. You're looking at a legend. I think one of the most coveted engines of all time.
Absolutely.
Even still today.
And look, I don't want to overhype the 2JZ, because it's like when Toyota went racing with the Supra, they didn't use the 2JZ. But
yeah, this is a street car.
Yeah. There is a reason why this engine is so lauded. This is absolutely overbuilt. It's built to have like 700 or 800 horsepower.
Right.
And stock, it had half of that.
Iron block, just tough as hell, and that's why it could withstand all that heat, withstand all of the punishment from tuners just sticking gigantic turbos on it.
Weird traction control on the throttle body.
Yeah, very Toyota.
Weird 90s tech. Look at all the like weird plumbing. It was
Yeah.
just a massive high-tech endeavor.
Toyota had a long history of straight six development
Yes,
from,
yes.
I think, about the 70s and
Even
onward.
earlier.
Even
Even
earlier.
into the 1960s with something like a Toyota 2000 GT, this is actually not all that different. If you want to make 1,000 horsepower in a car, you still pull out a 2JZ.
The two JZs in various forms lasted in different cars until about
Yeah.
the 2000s, early 2000s. You saw it on some Lexus models.
Yeah.
That was the end of their life, though. And this was the end, effectively, of the Toyota inline six. After that, they pretty much went to all V6s.
Absolutely.
And what they say on the new Supra,
Yeah.
obviously it's a BMW-produced car. The reason they partnered with BMW is because they felt up high that the Supra had to have a straight six, like it always did. You know, people have asked, why didn't you use a V8? Why didn't you use a twin-turbo V6
Yeah.
and make it all Toyota? And they say, no, we had to make it a straight six, like it used to be. Like that was
Heart of Supra.
and they say it was
Pure
just
performance.
Right. And they say it was too expensive to make a whole new engine from scratch and a whole new factory for that engine and to build your platform strategy around it just for one car. It's
Yeah.
cheaper to just go to BMW.
This was very possibly the last car approved for production before the bubble
Right.
burst.
All right, enough talk about engines. It is time
Yeah,
to
yeah.
embrace driving exuberance and the sports of Toyota.
Yes!
Time to get behind the wheel, Raph. You ready?
I am so ready.
This was like my high school dream car. I grew up in kind of a Toyota family.
Yeah.
I always wanted one of these.
It is funny that I see a lot of Toyota stuff in it.
Yes.
Same leatherette. What's it like? How's it hold up?
It's solidly okay.
Really?
Yeah, it's okay. It's got a nice smooth sound under hard acceleration. It's very quiet otherwise. But I think there's a very common thread with some of these Japanese cars. They were also meant to be sort of luxury cruisers. The gearbox is really good. It's not like Honda super tight, but it's good. It handles better than I expected it to. The Supra always kind of felt like kind of a bigger car in relation to like the RX-7.
It's actually not huge. It's not huge inside. It's definitely a scale up from the RX-7, but it's not
yeah,
giant.
and
And you're lower than you sort of think you'd be.
You are, and it drives smaller than I expected to. I always kind of envisioned this as like a real Grand Tourer car, but and it sort of is. It's got an okay back seat for like small kids and maybe adults in a pinch, but I mean, it's a decent handler. It's tight. The hydraulic steering is really good.
Obviously, the giant wing is
Yeah.
what's pressing you to the ground.
Yes.
It makes all the world of difference.
Without that, we would almost certainly take off
I
and
think
launch
so.
into the sky. Here, let's put in second and go for it. Yeah, see, it's okay. It's just okay. But you know what? Even though it's not that great a performer stock, I like driving it.
Really?
I just enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because it's the car.
I assume it's just the power of nostalgia.
It is kind of that. It's just, oh, I'm in a Supra. I'm in a stock Supra. Like, this is neat. This is cool and different and good. I think that, it's really proof that the mystique of the Supra comes from the fact that it was tuned to hell and back.
Yeah.
That the street racers and the drag show crowd put like 1,000 horsepower on them. Because stock, it's just kind of fine.
It is difficult to understand who this was for, other than people doing the cannonball run.
This is an expensive car in its day. And this is like almost 80,000 in today's dollars. Like the new Supra, the BMW Supra, is actually quite a bit cheaper than this. And I can see where people back then were like, why would I pay 80 grand for a Toyota? Like,
Oh, this shifter is amazing.
I
Whoa.
wonder if it's an aftermarket unit or if
No,
it was
this
factory.
this is how they were stock.
It's a very good shifter.
I mean, no, the transmission is amazing.
Yeah.
This is the thing about a Supra. Every part of it is super good. But it's like not a lot. Second turbo. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So okay, yeah.
You're
yeah,
only
yeah.
going, ladies and gentlemen, when he was screaming like that, he was going about 70. So like,
It's so good to feel a second turbo kick in.
it is a better handler than I think people give it credit for.
You think
that's
this- you
that's
think-
not what people remember the Supra for. But it's like a decent car when you're cornering. I was really torn between if I owned this, would I keep it stock or would I do a little bit to it? And it's very tempting to want to do at least a little bit to it.
I feel the urge. I get why people do it.
Yeah.
But I also totally agree with you that this is it's total joy stuff.
Yeah, it's
This
cool.
is super wonderful.
Raph, what's your take on the two cars we drove today?
Oh, well, I mean, of the two, the RX-7 is really a super exciting car to drive.
The RX-7 is definitely the more hard-edged, purest sports car, the most memorable drive of the two today.
Yeah.
But if I had one car to just drive every day, like I would probably take a stock Supra and maybe flirt with tuning it or not.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, there are modern cars which have this much performance or more, but they don't have this character of like doing it all yourself, like your own engines, all your own overbuilt parts. You can buy a Supra today, but it's not like the old one.
Yeah, you could not see cars like this today for a lot of reasons. The sports car market doesn't exist anymore. All these car companies have to dump their money into electric cars and autonomy.
Yeah.
The money's not there, the margins aren't there. I mean, two examples come to mind.
Yeah.
You get the modern Mazda Miata, maybe the best Miata ever. But, you know, Fiat also uses that platform to make the Fiat Roadster. Toyota goes even further in the other direction. Like that car is a BMW
The
underneath.
Supra, yeah.
Like that's what they have to do to make these modern sports cars happen. They have to make those kinds of compromises just because this era could never happen again. It just is not the way things are going. It's not what people are buying.
I mean, the bubble era burst 91, 92,
Yeah.
and still we don't have something at this level again.
It's a shame, but you know, we can still enjoy these things for what they are today. All right, should we head back to Gary Duncan's?
Yeah, you want to drive the RX-7?
Yeah, I'll take the RX-7, take the Supra.
What a day, man.
Yeah, what a good day. Oh, right,
You know, I
right, yeah. Yeah, I keep mixing this up.
You can't see your
I've
head.
been doing it all day.